Welcome to the Mucked Up My Self-Care podcast.
I'm Jill from New York.
And I'm Linda from Tasmania.
We are two moms from opposite sides of the world who are living, demonstrating, and helping moms across the world build their self-care asset bank.
Ready to dive in? Messy, interrupted, imperfect, and most of all mucked up. Let's get going.
Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello. Yes. I'm hoping that all the children are asleep and not still bickering with each other.
Mine is comfy, cozy, eating breakfast in a heated blanket. It's getting chilly over here.
Ooh, let's go. Quick, while your time's good. All right, highs and lows. You go first.
Let's go. Okay, so low we're going to start with because I like to start with the low part sometimes. But I think I was fully out of bandwidth and super melty over the weekend after all of the fun, exciting things that have been happening on our calendar around our Halloween season. Spooky season is here, and this is probably going to air after spooky season is over, though. So it's just been fun trying to go to party to party, but obviously at some point this weekend I had enough and just
Overwhelmed, overdone.
It snowballed, and then that was it. So it got a little low for me last night, and not really sure sleep has helped me recover just yet, but we will get there. I think a nice little break from everybody while everyone's at work and school will be what I needed prescribed today. So we'll see how that goes. My high is Declan had his first belt promotion for karate. So that was super exciting. He was so brave because they invited all the kids, if they wanted to come up in the front of everybody and share something they were proud of themselves for doing so far up till this promotion. So all the kids talked about how they started school and did all these things. And we tried to tell talk it over with Declan first. We're like, well, what are you proud of, Ben? Aren't you proud of getting your first belt promotion? This is really cool. No, he waited all this time on the line and said that he was scared of the dark and slept in mommy and daddy's bed every day. I'm like, okay. I mean, that's cool, but you said something in front of all these people. But his instructor then follow up with a question well, when you get scared, what do you do to overcome that? Or who do you talk to? What do you say to yourself? And so his answer was Jesus.
Oh,
and then we all just lost it. So it was just so sweet how he answered that way.
Gosh.
And then at church yesterday, my pastor had to share that with everybody because she was so proud of his evangelism and just being outspoken about loving Jesus. And I'm just like, oh my God, I can't stop weeping. So proud mama moments.
Oh, that is amazing. That really is.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And okay. For you, Linda, share away.
Yes, me. Right. So I'm going to start with the low as well. This morning I had a very challenging time again getting my 10-year-old to get out the door on a Monday morning for school. And it's a regular occurrence now, and it frazzles me for sometimes quite a length of time afterwards, and all the people around, and I'm doing my darndest best with this very strong-willed child. And in an ideal world, I would really like to be handling it in the best way that I can. However, my can is getting a little bit broken when it keeps happening every single Monday, and it's not a fun way for anybody to start the week. So I have to continue to work through it and go inward a little bit to work out, well, what needs to happen here, because I think we just talked before jumping on the call, so I'd love to be able to sit there and talk and listen to him and what he needs and work it out and everything. However, that's taking a very lengthy amount of time. And meanwhile, the rest of the world continues to go on. And so I've tried to talk a bit to him about it outside the situation, and both outside and inside and around, and work out what's really going on. So I think I know, I just not sure exactly if he even knows what's going on, and I'm trying to explain it to him the best I can as well. So it's really challenging me. Yep. Not the proudest moment, but definitely a huge low. So, yes. And my high was actually only 30 minutes before that happened, when I had my little, not much one for much longer, but she was playing peekaboo in bed with me this morning in the sweetest way. So she'd pull up the blankets, and then we'd both go under, and she'd be like, hide, hide, hide. And then she'd pull down the blankets and go, peekaboo, 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 and saying peekaboo in the most sweetest way.
Aww.
And then she'd be like, hide, 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 and then pull it up again and would look at me under there and giggle, and then peekaboo. So very, very sweet.
That's so cute. Oh my goodness.
Oh, so it was like this massive roller coaster of going from that to, here we go again. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to do something a little bit different today, because we just wrote our notes for this episode and realised we actually have quite a lot to say. So we're actually going to do a 2-part episode. So if you're listening to this one, we will have a part 2 coming up next week. And we're talking about why self-care is so hard.
Yes. Oh,
Right.
you were fueled with fire after this weekend. To have a
also
good
been a-
conversation about this topic.
It's been a 4-day weekend at this end as well. So let's just start with the question: why is self-care so hard?
I would love an answer. My gosh. And we really broke this down. Really did.
Yep.
Because I don't think either of us actually answered in our notes the question. Tons of
Awesome.
more questions instead. But why is it so hard? Are we making it hard on ourselves, or are we allowing other things around us to make it hard in our own heads?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I like I like that was an agreement of I still don't really know the answer to the question.
So, why is it hard? I mean, I can only say why it's hard for me, which comes
Sure.
down to
Yeah.
be everything. Like, I know I need it. I know when I need it, but am I too far gone into needing it that I don't want to go do it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So
I
too
think
much
I would
set up.
add to that.
Yeah.
I'd probably add to that, like, time as well, like time, competition for time, and competition for
Look at this week I have. When am I going to fit it in here?
Yep, like competing priorities and needs, all of the needs coming at you at once, and then being like, well, what was that thing I had to do again? Oh, that's right, self-care. Oh, well, I'm just going to flop into bed and maybe tomorrow.
Yeah. Like, are we then limiting ourselves to what our self-care options are because, well, I don't have the time, so I'm just going to say my self-care is getting to bed at a decent time tonight. And is that just giving in to ourselves in that way? That we're not really taking care of ourselves in a good way. Like, yeah, sleep is self-care for us. It's something that we need.
Yeah.
But why don't we settle
value.
limiting ourselves too when we have such a busy schedule and life is happening around us? I don't know.
And at the same time, what are we up to? Episode number 82 now. We know that self-care in some ways is not as hard as it was in episode 1.
Yeah.
So should self-care then be easier? Because I don't agree that it's easier.
We have these simple, ways to start out because, we did our whole project of go back in time and figure out what you needed when you were a new mom, not really knowing how to take care of yourself. Fast forward to today, I'm 4 years in, you are 12 years in with 4 kids. And it's still just as hard as it was on day 1 in a different way, though.
Yeah.
The way that we're at this point, I feel like we're making it hard because we know it's so easy.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Easy things, and we're just like, it's so easy, it's not going to work. Are we preventing ourselves from doing something because of the simpleness of it that we just don't think it's going to cure, I guess we can say, or give us that energy back to the fullest that we need something a little bit more that we desire self-care wise. So if we can't get that part done, then we're like, well, that's too simple. It's not going to fix what I need self-care meter wise. So I'm not going to do anything at all. Whereas maybe we do need 4 or 5 simple things that are putting a little bit of energy back into us. We're just not doing it because we want that big block of time spent by ourselves to do it. Whereas sometimes that can lead up to disappointment if we just did take, for me, the walk back from school has been so fantastic in having just quiet alone time with absolutely nothing but my own thoughts. That, Declan, so my thing right now with Monday mornings, Declan doesn't want to walk to school. He wants to drive to school. And I've made this commitment. I tried to make it with him that I would walk every day because we are so close to school. And it's really helping me out on the self-care side. So what are we doing? I'm like, I need that time. I know you need that time. It gives us a lot of that oxytocin build up on him to go be okay with leaving me, getting that one-on-one mom time while we're holding hands on the walk to school, or sometimes, we're just having good conversation. If I eliminate that by driving into school, sure, it's a little bit different. We're still, one-on-one and close, but now it's a 2-minute ride to school instead of a 10-minute walk to school where we have that time. And it then doesn't make it as beneficial for either of us, I don't feel. So that's something easy that I just forget that I can do all the time. Whereas I'm like, well, yesterday I needed to get away and I didn't get away from the family situation. I didn't leave my house and go do something. Instead, I went and did a chore. And that that wasn't real self-care. So, my breakdown towards the end of the night kind of makes sense in my debrief of feeling the way that I felt. I really should have just stuck to my word. And when I told everyone that I needed to get away and go do something by myself, I should have. And I just didn't because I catered to everyone else and thought I would take advantage of a nap time the way that I could have, and I didn't. So this morning's walk is going to be necessary, even though it's 40 degrees Fahrenheit here. So,
gosh, yep, yeah. And also, how long's he been back at school?
Almost 2 months.
Okay, yeah. But it's also not a daily habit yet. So you said on the weekend you didn't get any time alone, whereas if you're walking to school with him, 5 days a week, you would get that 5 times or 10 times a week? Are you walking home as well?
I get 2 walks with him and 2 walks alone.
Yeah, so 10 times a week.
Yeah.
but it's not.
I need to carry this into Saturdays and Sundays then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
So that it becomes a daily, and then you're not giving it as much thought, maybe. It
Yeah.
becomes more of just a second nature thing of, this is just what Mummy does. This is just what Jill does. This is just what I do. For me. So then does it become less hard and easier? And also, if it's then more of a habit, do you still see it as health self-care, or just something that you do?
Well, that's a great question, because with your fitness, with you going to the gym as much, you turned something that was something you started for self-care into a routine.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think routine automatically takes away self-care when it becomes routine. Because when you look at our podcasting time together, like, we consider these conversations gathering on our Mondays, even if we don't get to hit record until a half hour into our time, that little bit of like, let's just vent so this doesn't end up on the podcast.
And then sometimes it does. Sometimes it does anyway.
We get that time out. We then are able to have a great conversation. By the time we're done, you're off to a little bit of a better sleep because you got to talk your way through some stuff. I'm off to a little bit of a better day because I've already, did this little bit of conversation and got some things off my chest. And like, it's still self-care, even though we do this, and we've done it now every Monday for over a year. Like, I mean, there's a few that we've missed, but this has become routine now.
But this has never been hard for us, though.
No. So is it the hardness level of doing something? Like, the only times it really gets hard is when we're in the middle of trying to get 4 littles down for bed, or I have one trying to sit on my lap and be in the camera. Like, compared to separating ourselves to go get self-care, but a different way.
Yep. Interesting.
Very.
I'm just wondering how much we are making it harder by our willingness as well. Like, we are willing and motivated and have lots of passion / obsession / drive to be here. Like, this is really, really important to both of us.
Right. So our commitment level to being here, like, there's a bigger purpose for our recording together, our conversation, that, to reach others, to help others with these same exact conversations, as well as then get the benefit of having a conversation for ourselves and starting and ending our day off. So there's that twofold benefit to us. And is it because that we have a deeper meaning to this that we short ourselves, even though self-care for ourselves is not selfish and should be a deeper meaning for ourselves when alone? How do we shortchange ourselves then? Like, what's crossed in our minds that aren't allowing us to be that way?
I think we need to think on that for a minute, maybe.
Well, I think it's partially like there's definitely other people out in this world that have the freedom, I'm going to say lightly, to just jump up and go do some self-care. They don't have things that they have to figure out before they go do those things. And I'm generalizing it because I don't know anybody's situation. For me, I don't have the freedom to just get up and go and do something. And yes, I do. I can tell my husband and my sister, hey, I need to leave and go do this. But inside, it's my mental capability of letting things just be and walking away from them feels not right for me. So I'm the one that has to, like, confirm with everybody that someone can take care of him, regardless of my time frame. Like, can you do it longer? Are you going to be able to take care of this? Are you going to be able to take care of this? And there's like so much more of a mental load of decisions that need to be made, not just, I'm going to get in the car and go do this.
Yep.
So for me, that stopped me from thinking that it's as easy as it can be. Whereas this is easy. I'm right in my home. This conversation can happen. Well, I don't have to make decisions other than what is he going to eat? What am I setting up with him to go be quiet for a half hour at least so I can be uninterrupted.
So if we're using the school example again, that should also be easy because he has to go to school, or unless he's sick or something like that. That should also be like there's a commitment there to get him to school, and then the walk home is your time as well. So there should technically be some pretty good groundwork there before or for that to happen. It's close by.
Yeah.
It's within walking distance. It's all sorts of benefits like you've talked about. So maybe they just need to be at front of mind a little bit more again for a little while. Whereas on the weekends, that incentive isn't there, is it?
No. Yeah. I mean, nothing's close for me to go walk to. I'm not walking to church on Sunday mornings. I mean, that's a 10-mile drive. I'm not walking with you all day. I'd have to leave Saturday morning to get there. So yeah, that's very accurate. Like I don't have the incentive. Like there's nowhere for me to walk to. I'm not just going to go walk because I want to walk now, especially in the winter.
Is there a shop close by or anything like that? No.
There is. I mean, I could go walk to Starbucks if I really wanted to. It's a mile away.
Okay.
But then it's a mile away in these cold temperatures.
To be continued.
Exactly. But I did write it down already, Linda. I will say it's on my calendar now to add walk on Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
So.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's check back in a few weeks and see.
Yes.
But for now, I think we will. Let's come back. Also, come back to the other notes that we need to also think about, or we'll get ourselves into it as well. So,
yeah.
Yep. So until next week.
We hope you can unstuck your mouth.
Bye for now. See you then.